Redo You, the podcast that teaches you tools and strategies so you can build the confidence to rediscover and reinvent yourself. With me, Emma Hull, your favorite life coach. Each week, I'll introduce a concept that you can implement right away so you can live your most authentic life. Let's get started. Are you caught up in anger and resentment over something that happened maybe recently, maybe a long time ago? The thing is, when you hold on to that anger and resentment, it builds up inside. You can try and stuff it down and ignore it, but just like the proverbial rotten apple, it's going to spoil that whole barrel. Its toxicity is going to leak out, and it's going to keep impacting you. So I'm going to share a strategy that you can use to release and create space to move forward. You're going to write a letter. Don't worry, you're never going to send it. Take a pen and paper and write a letter to that person or the situation that hurt you. You're going to pour out onto the paper everything that you're upset about. Share how hurt you feel, how you feel that they did you wrong, the actions that they took, the way they behaved, everything. Really unleash on them. Let all your anger pour out. Don't overlook things that seem petty. Dig around in all the corners of your memories and get all that anger, resentment, frustration out onto the page. It can be as messy as you like. You don't need to be able to read it. You can cry on the page. It doesn't have to make sense. Just pour it out. Once you're done releasing that anger, take a moment to shift your energy. Maybe get up and actually shake. Jump up and down. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling deeply through your nose, sighing out through your mouth, releasing that negative energy. And for the next part of your letter, you're going to write about how you wish things had gone down instead. So shifting into a different gear now, reflecting on, if this were to happen again, here's how I deserve to be treated. Here's what I'd want you to say and do. Or going through all the things that you wish that they'd said and done in the time. Again, not overlooking things that seem small and unimportant. This is about getting all of those thoughts sweeping out every single corner of this memory and setting it straight, explaining how you'd like to be treated in the future. This works because you're seeking from that person for them to understand how they hurt you and for them to see the error of their ways. But that's never going to happen. So you do it here in this letter and you set it straight in your heart and in your mind, and you're telling the universe how you deserve to be treated. When you've finished writing that letter, tear it up into tiny, tiny pieces, which is quite cathartic in and of itself. And then you're going to take those pieces of that letter and throw them in the ocean, in a river, or if you're not near those things, flush them down the toilet, releasing it, letting it go. And then after you've completed this, and don't skip this step, okay? You're going to do some self-care, something that's going to soothe you because you triggered yourself. You went somewhere that you didn't want to go. And so now you get to bring your nervous system back down. So maybe you have a nice bath, maybe you phone a friend, but don't skip the caring for you activity. So otherwise, this won't work as well. You need to practice when you've been triggered to do self-care. And so if you're going to trigger yourself, then you need to do self-care. And what you'll find with this letter writing exercise is that You might feel that you've gotten rid of that anger and resentment, but that it'll come up again. And so just repeat the exercise, and each time you'll find that there's less intensity and that you're able to return to a neutral place more quickly. Remember, this letter is for you to clear out your heart, to create that space so that you're not carrying around this baggage anymore. You're letting it go. And you're setting out for yourself and for the world how you deserve to be treated.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Redo You podcast. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review, and tell a friend, because together we rise even higher. See you next Friday.